Is Howie Roseman actually a genius? Or is he sleepwalking into a complete defensive disaster that could tank the Philadelphia Eagles' 2026 season before it even begins? We are standing on the edge of a championship window, but there is a massive, gaping hole in this roster that should have every fan in Philly terrified. If the front office doesn't wake up and address this secondary crisis right now, we aren't just looking at a setback. We're looking at a total franchise meltdown. Before we dive into the chaos, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. The NFL Draft is officially in the books, and while the city is buzzing with the arrival of new talent, the clock is ticking. Rookie minicamp is literally days away, starting May 2nd and 3rd, followed by the mandatory grind on June 9th and 10th, and the sweltering heat of training camp in late July. But let's be real, Howie Roseman never sleeps. He is the undisputed king of the training camp trade, and he better have his phone charged because this roster is currently a house of cards. The safety slot, a glaring disaster. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the safety position. It isn't just a weakness, it is a full-blown emergency. We're looking at a depth chart that feels like it was put together with Scotch tape. You've got Andrew McCabe, a kid with undeniable talent, but who is incredibly green and, more importantly, coming off a devastating broken ankle. Relying on a rookie with a major injury history to be your last line of defense. That is beyond risky. That's insane. Then you have the Michael Carter experiment. The Eagles have been trying to force him into a safety role after he spent the bulk of his career playing nickel. It's a classic case of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. We've seen this movie before, and it rarely ends with a parade down Broad Street. If you're a diehard fan, you know that the safety spot in a Vic Fangio defense is the brain of the secondary. If that brain isn't functioning, the whole body shuts down. But wait until you hear which veteran star has actually become the biggest liability on the entire team. The engagement loop? Who is to blame? Who's to blame for this defensive identity crisis? Is it the front office for not being aggressive enough in free agency? Or is the coaching staff failing to develop the young guns? Drop a name in the comments right now. I want to see who you're holding accountable. The Jake Elliott betrayal, a mental meltdown. Now, I know we don't want to talk about it. We want to assume that Jake Elliott is the same clutch kicker who won us a Super Bowl. But the reality is a total betrayal of expectations. The stats don't lie, and they are ugly. In 2023, the man was a literal god, hitting nearly 94% of his kicks. He was top 10 in the league, a stone-cold killer. Then 2024 happened. He plummeted to 77, 8%, and 2025, a career-low 74, 1%. We're talking about a kicker who has completely lost his ability to hit from 50 yards plus. He went 1 for 7 from deep in 2024 and only 4 of 8 last year. The only reason he is still on this roster is a massive dead cap hit, $1. $4 million if cut before June 1st, and a staggering $4. $6 million after. If his contract wasn't an albatross, he'd already be looking for work. If he misses a few chip shots in front of the home crowd early this season, the Boo Birds are going to be louder than a jet engine, and Howie Roseman will be forced to cut him. Cap hit be damned. The masterclass or the disaster? How do we get here? Think back to the heartbreak of Super Bowl 57. That game wasn't just lost on one fumble. It was lost on special teams and a defense that couldn't get a stop when it mattered most. If the special teams unit had been competent, and if players like Aaron Sipis had performed, Jalen Hurts would have 2 rings right now. Instead, we're watching a kicker struggle with the yips while our divisional rivals get faster and stronger every single day. Speaking of the division, the NFC East is no longer a cakewalk. The New York Giants are an upstart team under John Harbaugh, and Jackson Dart looks like the real deal. The Cowboys, they just had a masterclass of draft, snagging downs at 11. Dak Prescott is still a top-tier quarterback, and their defense under Christian Parker is no longer a unit you can just steamroll. Even the Commanders, with Jaden Daniels and stars like Arville Ree and Sonny Styles, are a major threat. We might think we're the kings of the East, but the crown is slipping. The offensive outlook, can Sean Mannion save us? The 2026 season hinges on one question. Can a new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, get more out of Jalen Hurts than Kellen Moore did. We have one of the best rosters in the league on paper. We've added weapons like Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers, who is incredible at Vanderbilt. We've got Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby, and Will Shipley in a backfield that should be illegal. But all that offensive firepower won't mean a thing if the defense gives up 30 points a game. We're losing A.J. Brown. Let's just accept that it's happening. Whether it's for draft picks or a player like Christian Gonzalez, the core of this team is shifting. Jalen Hurts is going to have to be a top 10 MVP candidate just to keep us in games if this safety situation isn't fixed. Passing 21 touchdowns should be easy for him if the line, bolstered by talent like Ashton Janney, stays healthy. The trade market, who is left? So, who does Howie Roseman target? Justin Simmons just announced his retirement, so that dream is dead. Do we look at Buda Baker? He's a versatile chess piece, a pro bowler, and exactly the kind of veteran leader this young secondary needs. Or do we go after Justin Reed? He's on a big money deal in New Orleans, and we know Howie has fleeced Mickey Loomis in the past. Other names like Grant Delpit from Cleveland are also swirling in the rumor mill. We cannot go into the season relying on Khalil Ringo to figure it out. Ringo is a fantastic special teams gunner, but he lacks the lateral quickness and the instincts to play safety at a high level. Moving a failed corner to safety is a desperate move, and the Philadelphia Eagles should be above desperation. Final thoughts. The championship window, the Eagles are in a championship window, but that window is made of glass, and it's starting to crack. We have the talent. We have the coaching, with Kevin Stefanski leading the charge, and we have the most passionate fans in the world. But we also have a kicker who can't find the uprights and a secondary that is one injury away from a total collapse. Howie Roseman has a few weeks to prove he's still the smartest guy in the room. If he doesn't bring in a veteran safety and a backup kicker who can actually compete, we might be looking at a disaster season instead of a masterclass. But wait until you hear what the coach said behind closed doors about the rookie class. The drama is just getting started. Keep it locked here for the latest updates as we head into the most pivotal training camp in Eagles history.